Oh, and it's a great challenge by the Nottingham Forest man, but Josh Sargent is ahead. And he is onside. Can he cut in between those two Forest players? He can. Strikes towards the near post and it's saved by the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper. Josh Sargent almost giving us the lead before half-time there. We are coming off arguably our best result of the series so far. A 3-0 win over Manchester United saw us surge through to the next round of the FA Cup. But not only that, our new signing Håkon Einar Haraldsson scored on his debut. It must have been something of a relief for the 25-year-old forward to get off to such a good start with his new club. His troubles at Leeds have been well publicised in the media, and he spoke out after the game about how relieved he was to get a fresh start here at Redmont. Unfortunately, a 2-1 loss against Spurs in the last game of the episode saw us crash out of the FA Cup in just round 4, meaning that our joy was short-lived, and for a 6th consecutive season, we will fail to achieve this board objective to reach the round of 16. However, the Premier League very much is our priority, and we do find ourselves in 13th place, 10 points clear of the relegation zone. And we have a chance to extend that lead even further in the first game of the episode here as we host Nottingham Forest at Redmont Arena. Forest were big spenders in the summer, dropping almost 100 million on Ryan Gravenberch from Liverpool, so we have to see if he features in the game here today. And Liverpool themselves weren't shy about spending some money either, dropping 58 million of that Gravenberch money on Declan Rice, as well as adding Ruben Neves to their midfield and the left-back Gutierrez. We do have a game against Liverpool to get to later in the episode. That'll be a game that we quick sim, along as the away trip that we have to the Etihad to face Manchester City. But for now, we have a game against Nottingham Forest to focus on. They're going to play a 5-2-3 formation. Nico Williams at right back. Badiashile and Disasi form a strong defensive pairing. And so do Conor Gallagher and Ryan Gravenberch in midfield. It's going to be Callum Hudson-Odoi and Jared Bowen alongside Dia leading the way up front. As for us, we're going to stick with the 4-3-3 formation that has revolutionised the way that we have been playing recently. We are going to go back to a more traditional 4-3-3 this week, though. Haraldsson, the new boy, shifting out to the left-hand side, allowing Josh Sargent to come back in and play through the middle. Ismaila Sarr on the right. A midfield 3 today of James McAtee, Max Webber and Christian Caceres. And then our strongest back 5 of Sasha Bowie, Caleb Taylor, Patrick Pfeiffer and Bali Mumba. Patrick Pfeiffer a little low on match fitness, so we may have to rely on Kenji Yamada from the bench. And Alexander Bobek, of course, continues in goal. So let's head over to Redmont Arena and see if we can get a result here against Nottingham Forest. We are up in the commentary booth for this one. Redmont Arena, Redmont Rangers versus Nottingham Forest. We are back in the Premier League here, having spent the last episode focused mainly on the FA Cup. 2 out of our 3 games in the last episode, FA Cup games. And a fantastic result against Manchester United. In that previous episode, I would say probably our crowning achievement in the series so far, a 3-0 win over Manchester United. Certainly an episode to check out if you haven't seen it already. Our new man, Håkon Einar Haraldsson, who could be away down the left-hand side here, played very, very well. Scored the first goal on his debut. And he could be again in on the left-hand side here. Pass over hit by Christian Caceres, though, who holds up his hand in apology. Steve Cooper looking on. He's managed to avoid the axe here. 6 years deep into this franchise series. So good on him. Nottingham Forest, still a Premier League team. I don't believe they have gone down at any point in this series. So You can't blame the board too much for sticking with Cooper. James McAtee strikes from goal. Good save from the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper. Gets down low. Away to his right-hand side to parry the ball away. And it's a bright start again here from Redmont. We've been on a really good run of form recently. Outside of that game against Tottenham in the last episode that we did lose, we are unbeaten in several games. Christian Caceres puts it in. Haraldson in there to challenge. James McAtee is going to get a chance to recycle. I believe if you take the Tottenham game out of the equation, I think we might be approaching double-digit games unbeaten. Christian Caceres, 1-0 Redmont Rangers. An early cross from Sasha Bowie, another of our new signings. And Christian Caceres was completely unmarked in the penalty area. Nottingham Forest defenders absolutely asleep. It was a good cross from Sasha Bowie. But you cannot allow any player to be that free in the penalty area. Absolutely nothing the goalkeeper could do about it. Caceres did well to steer the header to one side of him. Either side would have been absolutely fine. But 8 minutes into the game is a goal for Redmont Rangers, scored by number 14, Christian Caceres. So an excellent start to the game. We scored, I believe, in about the 8th minute. It might have been exactly the 8th minute against Manchester United in the last episode. So this new 4-3-3 formation, more attacking than our previous formations. Traditionally, historically, up to this point, we've been... This is so well worked. Josh Sargent lays it off to Haraldson. Strikes at goal. The goalkeeper parries this one away. We look so dangerous, though. We look so dangerous. As I was saying, we've been playing a 5-2-3 basically the entire series up until now, but we finally got the personnel to be a little bit more forward-thinking in our approach. And it really is paying dividends. We have been so good going forward in the last handful of games. And that's definitely been the difference. That's definitely a big reason why we do remain unbeaten for so many games. At the very least in the Premier League. Ismail Assar comes short to collect. James McAtee. Again could be in space to shoot. Just lays it off to Haraldson instead though. Lofts it up towards Ismail Assar at the back post and cleared. Christian Caceres can't come down with it. And Nottingham Forest get a chance to clear their lines. Bailey Mumba regains possession. Hastily, though, for Redmont. Patrick Pfeiffer over to Bailey Mumba on this left-hand side. There's Max Webber. Cuts inside onto his right foot, where he's going to shoot from range. Comfortable for Omlin, the goalkeeper. But not a bad effort from Max Webber. Good to see him shooting from distance. That's primarily going to be the opportunities that he will have to score. I don't anticipate many goals from Max Webber, but he might have one or two from those kinds of situations, and we have gone to sleep here. That pass from Nottingham Forest completely bypassed our entire midfield, which is not a good sign. But we do have players back to defend now. It's another nice pass from Nottingham Forest, though. Slips it through just out of reach of the defender's outstretched leg. And Christian Caceres has been beaten here. Pulled back by Nottingham Forest, though, and it's a poor pass into the feet of Max Webber in the end. And Josh Sargent could be away. Haraldson up ahead of him on this left-hand side. Here is the new man, Haraldson. Slipped into Josh Sargent, who can't quite bring it down. Tried to control it there with his head. Potentially his chest would have been a better option. But McAtee slips it through to Ismail Assar, and it's just wide. Had a chance to double the lead there, Ismail Assar. Not sure the goalkeeper would have got to it. But it flashes across goal and past the post. Hans Newman unhappy. So a goal kick for Nottingham Forest. Omlin to take. Caceres can't get there to challenge for the header. And Nottingham Forest are away on their right-hand side. Haraldson back on defence, though. And Bailey Mumba just ushers Jared Bowen out of play. Interesting to see Jared Bowen on Nottingham Forest here in, I've got no idea what the year is, but in season 6 of this franchise save, I think Jared Bowen is 32 years old, which surprised me when I saw that off camera. I didn't think he would be quite that old. Obviously, you know, we are 6 seasons on from real life, but that would make him 26 in real life. I didn't think he was quite that old. So I was surprised to see that. Jared Bowen, late career Jared Bowen, this is. Approaching retirement Jared Bowen. Feels like he's got a lot longer left to play in real life. Caleb Taylor almost beaten. Quick enough to get back in position though. And Alexander Bobek just chips it out nicely to Sasha Bowie. And a chance to use his pace here potentially on the right-hand side. The same can be said for Ismail Assar. Chance to use his pace. There's not too much on here. Ismail Assar just turning back and holding the ball up for Sasha Bowie to arrive in support. Harrelson at the back post. It was another decent cross from Sasha Bowie. And a good challenge from Max Weber. Delays the Nottingham Forest counter-attack. Harrelson is beaten though. Not once but twice. And again, Jared Bowen could be away here. Again, it's very good defender from Bali Mumba, but Jared Bowen's persistence pays off. And Nottingham Forest are away. Patrick Pfeiffer also beaten. Alexander Bobek also beaten. And there is the equaliser for Nottingham Forest. We had the lead for 15 minutes potentially. Maybe not even that. And it was poor defending, really, from Redmont. It was good defending initially from Harrelson and Mumba. But Mumba allowed Bowen to get away. Patrick Pfeiffer was beaten. And Nottingham Forest are level, and it is none other than Ryan Gravenberch, the £100 million man that Nottingham Forest purchased in the summer. Came over from Liverpool in a big deal. As Max Weber gives the ball away. And that transfer is certainly paying dividends for Nottingham Forest in this game. As he draws his side level. Jared Bowen continuing to cause problems for Bali Mumba and Redmont Rangers on that right-hand side. Again, he's beating his man. And again, he gets into the box. Christian Caceres stands off, allowing the shot. And it is saved by Alexander Bobek, who just made himself big at his near post. Nottingham Forest persist. Straight at Bobek. Parried away. And Sasha Bowie can come away with it, but he's given the ball away. It's Dia. And it's a good block from Caleb Taylor in the end. Danger still not clear. And the referee's given something. It's a free kick. As we see news that Darwin Nunez is on the move again. A Real Madrid player transferred to Leeds, so Leeds have their Harrelson replacement. And it is Darwin Nunez. Another player with a bit of versatility about him. Can play through the middle, can play out wide. But it's Harrelson here that we are focused on. Cuts inside onto his right foot. Can he get a shot away from range? Yes, he can. Blocked by the Nottingham Forest man. And Caleb Taylor is there to win the header. Sasha Bowie inside to Max Weber. There's James McAtee taking up a good position. Bali Mumba on the left-hand side. Max Weber in the centre once more. This is well worked from Redmont. Just keeping possession. Trying to work an opening here, which Ismail Assar may well be able to do. Cuts it onto his right foot. And Nottingham Forest just had players deep. They had players where we didn't. Ismail Assar once more on this right-hand side, though. An overlap from Sasha Bowie could be dangerous here, but Axel Disasi read it all the way. And he was across to cut it out. Ismail Assar pressing high up the pitch. Trying to win the ball back. Sasha Bowie manages to do that for a moment, but gives it straight back to Nottingham Forest. Bowie not being quite as impressive as Harrelson so far. Only a handful of games played for the new right back. But whilst Harrelson has made an instant impact, Sasha Bowie really hasn't. Nottingham Forest again with Gravenberch trying to work an opening. Jared Bowen. Nico Williams is up in support. Bali Mumba with a good challenge. Nottingham Forest still with the ball in a dangerous area though. Great challenge from Christian Caceres. It was a dangerous one. And it has left the Nottingham Forest player, Nico Williams, I believe it is, in a heap on the ground. It's a good challenge this time from Barley Mumba, and we could be away here with Harrelton. Nico Williams is still struggling to get back to his feet and back in position. Oh, and it's a great challenge by the Nottingham Forest man, but Josh Sargent is ahead. And he is onside. Can he cut in between those two Forest players? He can. Strikes towards the near post, and it's saved by the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper. Josh Sargent almost giving us the lead before half-time there. But it is going to be a corner that Christian Caceres is going to put into the box. So we'll look for Sargent around the penalty spot if we can find him. He is there, but he cannot win the header. Nottingham Forest man just in front of him. Just managed to clear the ball away with his head before it could sneak through to Josh Sargent. Good feet from Ismail Assar. And he's into the Nottingham Forest box. Pulls it back across the box. And the goalkeeper gets a solid hand on it. Fortunately for him, it drops just in front of him. And he is able to collect. Sasha Bowie on this right-hand side. Can we fashion one last opportunity in this half? Sasha Bowie again with a chance to use his pace, but again he overruns it. It's poor from Sasha Bowie. And Conor Gallagher is away ahead of Jared Bowen. Try to make sure that Nottingham Forest get the last chance of the game. Not of the game, but of the half. But the referee's whistle does go, and it is going to be level pegging at half-time. Ryan Gravenberg, the man with the goal for Nottingham Forest. After Christian Caceres, the unlikely man to open the scoring for Redmont. And we're going to have to step it up in this second half if we are going to get all 3 points here. Thanks for checking out this episode of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory Career Mode. If you're enjoying the video, please take a second to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. There's going to be plenty more realistic content like this to come in 2024, and every little bit of engagement helps to grow the channel and bring these videos to more and more viewers. Drop a comment too, let me know what you thought of today's game, who our man of the match was, or really just any feedback you have about the series. I always love to hear from you guys, and I've got some great ideas about how to get you more involved going forward. But that's enough rambling from me. Let's get back to the action. So we are back out for the second half here at Redmont Arena. Nottingham Forest to kick off as they kick from left to right here in the second half. Josh Sargent has had a quiet game, and we're going to need to see more from him in the second half if we're going to get the win. I do very much want to win this game. I think the game is there for the taking. I don't think Nottingham Forest have been particularly good. Ball from Sasha Bowie once again. And Ismail Assar as he gives the ball away. I don't think Nottingham Forest have really challenged us greatly in the game just yet. They've had one really good opportunity, and it was well worked. I take nothing away from them. Credit where it's due. The goal was a very good one. It was poor defending from us, but it was good play from two Nottingham Forest players in succession to work the opportunity for the away team. But beyond that, there's really been very little from Nottingham Forest to get too worried about. Josh Sargent steals the ball away. He really thinks the game is there for the taking. Smashes it across goal. Saved by the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, though. And we will press them in their own box here. But Nottingham Forest do manage to work it clear. Good opportunity for Josh Sargent there. As always, hard-working and opportunistic in equal measure there, Josh Sargent. Same can be said there for James McAtee. It's his turn to steal the ball away, and Ismail Assar free on that right-hand side. Christian Caceres with a little too much on the pass. And it's going to be a Nottingham Forest throw. See if we can pin them deep here with a bit of high pressure. Really, really good feet, though, to work it free on this left-hand side. And Kirkes, he's still going. Look at the pace. Sasha Bowie beaten by the reverse pass. Caleb Taylor with a good challenge, though. Sasha Bowie tries to clear. Surely there's a hand in there. And there is. It's going to be a free kick, Redmont, which Caleb Taylor will take. James McAtee spots Barley Mumba on the left-hand side, and it's a good switch of play. Christian Caceres inside. Max Webber. James McAtee in a bit of space. Ismail Assar with a good run. In behind the left back. Can't quite get there though. Didn't quite have the pace to reach it. But again, Nottingham Forest are in trouble here in their own box. Hooked clear by the goalkeeper. Bailimumba wins the header, but Christian Caceres can't pick up the baton. James McAtee with a good challenge, but the assistant referee didn't like it. Down on the touchline just in front of us. Max Webber wins the header here though, and Josh Sargent is ahead of him. Caceres can't find him. James McAtee. Good challenge, Ismail Assar. McAtee might be the first player that we take off here this afternoon, as he is a little less than fresh at this point of the game. Bailimumba inside to Christian Caceres. 5 Nottingham Forest defenders face him down though, so just has to switch the play to Sacha Bowie. There's Max Webber, the pass is behind him. Sacha Bowie again giving the ball away. He's been very, very disappointing so far, Sacha Bowie. Has not made the impact that I hoped he would. He's managed to find Ismail Assar here though, and he's continued his run up ahead. Ismail Assar with a really nice little lofted ball over the top for Sacha Bowie to chase, and he can't beat his man. Can't beat his man, and instead his man beats him. Sacha Bowie thankfully with enough pace to somewhat recover. And Caleb Taylor with a good intervention. Positioned himself well. And he's been absolutely shrugged off the ball there. Thankfully he's back on his feet before too long. Ismail Assar releases to Josh Sargent. Squeezed out by a Nottingham Forest player. Just ushered off the ball. That's not something you see from Josh Sargent too often. Sacha Bowie finally managing to put a foot in and win the ball back. But it doesn't last long. Nottingham Forest, the better team here in the second half. I was hoping we would kick on and establish our dominance here in the second, but it's actually gone the other way. Nottingham Forest shot blocked by another Nottingham Forest man, and Haraldson beats Neko Williams on this left-hand side. Another Nottingham Forest defender is there for company. Christian Caceres, what a run that is from Christian Caceres. Just a little too much on the pass. Half a yard too much on the pass there from Haraldson. But it was excellent play from the wide man. And a good run from Christian Caceres to get in behind there. I think we're going to have to make some changes next time the ball goes out of play. But now I think we have an update from Holly Champion down on the touchline regarding that news report about Hakon Anar Haraldson.
Haraldson's comments in the media earlier this week seemed to have caused quite a stir in Leeds. His former teammates and fans didn't take kindly to his comments, and it will be interesting to see what kind of reception he gets from the travelling Leeds fans when they travel to Redmont later this season. So
certainly happy to have Haraldson here in Redmont, and happy that his Redmont career has got off to such a good start. We do have a free kick here that James McAtee will put into the box, and we do have an opportunity to bring on those substitutions here as well. And James McAtee walks away from the ball because it's actually his number that's been raised on the board. He's going to be replaced here by Matthew Garbutt. Kenji Yamada to come on for Patrick Pfeiffer. He was wearing the armband today, Patrick Pfeiffer, so less than ideal that we need to take our captain off, but he's less than match fit. So Kenji Yamada comes in. Kenji Yamada almost wins the header there from Matthew Garbutt's free kick, but it is cleared by Nottingham Forest. We're going to step up into our attacking game plan for the next 10-15 minutes or so. Ismail Assar. Can he find Haraldson at the back post? Yes, he can. Haraldson wins the header, tries to put it back across the 6-yard box, but it's deflected off a Nottingham Forest man and into the arms of the goalkeeper. Into the grateful arms of the goalkeeper, you would imagine. It's going to be another Redmont Rangers throw here, though. Sacha Bowie. There's Caleb Taylor. Max Webber in a bit of space here. But again, Nottingham Forest with several players back to defend. And they're doing a good, robust job of it so far. But we are going to have to find a way to break them down and break the deadlock here. I would very much like 3 points. They're just above us in the table, Nottingham Forest. So 3 points here would go a long way to pulling us up into the actual top half of the table. We're a mid-table side at the moment, but a bottom half of the table side. I would love a top half finish this year. Anything more than that, I think, is a little unreasonable at this stage to aim for. But I think a top 10 finish would certainly be within grasp. And I think would certainly be a success for the season. Barley Mumba puts the ball out of play for a Nottingham Forest throw, which Conor Gallagher takes up. Bit of space here on the right-hand side, potentially to cross. Barley Mumba's job is to stop that cross, and he manages to do that. Haraldson on the left-hand side as well, back doing his defensive duties. Slips the ball inside to Conor Gallagher. Kenji Yamada with a good challenge though. There's Haraldson. And here is Matthew Garbutt. And we've got one player in the Nottingham Forest half, facing down 5 Nottingham Forest defenders. Forest defending so deep. Really not committing any of those 5 defenders to the attack. Josh Sargent's in the box though. And Barley Mumba almost found him. Just 10 minutes left to go in the game. We're still seeking that second goal. I'm disappointed that we conceded the first goal for Nottingham Forest, because I would be more than happy with a 1-0 win. And I feel like really outside of that opportunity that they did take, they've really had very little to get excited about today here, Nottingham Forest. Josh Sargent continuing to press high up the pitch. Matthew Garbutt now doing the same. Ismail Assar chasing down Conor Gallagher as well. And it's a bit of a loose touch from the Nottingham Forest man. My eyes widened there for a moment, as I thought we might potentially be able to nip in and steal that ball away. It's another loose touch, but Josh Sargent not close enough to punish the Nottingham Forest defender. Good challenge, Ismail Assar. There's Josh Sargent. Again, muscled off the ball. But I think potentially that was Axel Dizassi. He's a big, strong man himself, so can't hold it against Josh Sargent too much. Poor pass from Matthew Garbutt gives the ball straight back to Nottingham Forest, and we can't get the ball. We cannot touch the ball at the moment. Nottingham Forest just trying to keep possession for these last 10 minutes. They look like they're content with a point. And we are desperately chasing them around the pitch, trying to win the ball back. And it's a good save from Alexander Bobek in the end. Excellent period of possession for Nottingham Forest. Ryan Gravenberg finds himself in a bit of space and gets the shot off. Poor pass. Poor pass. We give it straight back to Nottingham Forest. It's a simple pass inside, and we can't complete it. It's got to be cleared. It's got to be cleared. Saved by Bobek. Not sure how that wasn't cleared by Kenji Yamada. And still we cannot get possession of the ball here. Nottingham Forest have basically had possession for 15 straight minutes here, it feels like. Kenji Yamada cuts it out. Haraldson just does enough to compete there, but again Nottingham Forest have the ball. They've been just absolutely camped in our half with the ball for the last 15 minutes of the game. And it's going to be a frustrating end to the game. We've had really good moments. Bobek has to claim, and he does. Can we get one last opportunity here? Max Webber. Haraldson has to make a run, and he does. Barley Mumba's there as well, and Max Webber's overhit it. The last opportunity of the game, and it goes begging. Max Webber puts it straight out into touch, and that's going to be the referee's final whistle. Really poor, really poor. We had an opportunity to create the winning goal there, and Max Webber just puts it out of play. Not good enough. Not good enough whatsoever. So it's another point on the board, but I wanted 3. I feel like we should have got 3 in the game. I feel like that game was there for the taking. I feel like there's 2 points dropped rather than a point gained. Josh Sargent was non-existent. Sasha Bowie was poor. Max Webber was sloppy in possession. But it is a point on the board. against another mid-table team. And it does further our push for at least Premier League football next season. So it does bring us to transfer deadline day. The January window drawing to a close here. I'm not expecting too much business to be done from a Redmont Rangers perspective. No incoming players, no outgoings either, I wouldn't imagine, unless we get a particularly big offer that is impossible to refuse. We do get an offer for Josh Sargent. It's not an overwhelming one, a little shy of 25 million. And it's not an offer that I'm interested in accepting. And the same goes for Barley Mumba, 14 million from Aston Villa. But he's a first-team player for us. It's not an overwhelming offer. Caleb Taylor, on the other hand, is a player I would consider selling. However, this late in the day and just 17.5 million from Brentford is not enough to make me move on when we have so little time to secure a replacement. Which means transfer deadline day is going to tick away with no more business done. And we will move swiftly on to our next game against Manchester City. Very little needs to be said about this team. Strong throughout the 11. And they're going to present a real problem for us. A really tough test here at the Etihad. This is the way that we'll line up for the game. Not expecting to get anything from it. If we can get a point, I would be more than happy. But fully expecting a loss here. And we do indeed come away with nothing to show for our efforts. It was closer than I anticipated. Matthew Garbett getting on the score sheet at the very least, but Xavi Simons and Erling Haaland, either side of halftime, secure the victory for Manchester City. And it is another game without a goal for Josh Sargent, really struggling to score this season. He's only got 4 goals on the season so far, so Haraldson very much coming for his place at the spearhead of that Redmont attack. But he will have another chance to get on the score sheet here today. Again, he leads the line for Redmont Rangers, accompanied by Haraldson. And Sar Mendes comes into midfield to face Liverpool. And our strongest back four remains. The two new boys come into midfield for Liverpool. Declan Rice and Ruben Neves alongside Fratesi. Richarlison, Gakpo and Rodrigo lead the line up front for Liverpool. And then it's a strong back four. Kelleher in goal for Liverpool today. So again, we are not expecting too much here. Anticipating a loss at Redmont Arena. If we can get a point, we would be more than happy. But unfortunately, we do go down 2-1 losers. Again, Ismail Assar getting a consolation goal late. But Liverpool had already done their damage in the second half. Rodrigo and Koundé on the score sheet. Which means that we finish the episode with just a point to show for our efforts. It could be a crucial point though. It does take us an extra point clear of the relegation zone. Coventry City still sitting there on 16 points. However, we move to 27 points. So 11 points from the drop zone now as we approach the final third of the season. And it continues to be incredibly close at the top of the table. Just 3 points between first place and 6th place. Newcastle continue to sit in first, but Arsenal were close behind on 47. Spurs, Manchester City, Liverpool all on 46. And then Manchester United there on 45 are very much in the hunt for that title as well. We have far more humble goals and expectations, but we do take on the league leaders in the next episode with a trip to St James's Park. We'll host Leicester City at Redmont Arena as well. And we will face Manchester United at Old Trafford. Leicester City currently sit rock bottom of the table, so that will be the game that we play in the next episode. We'll roll the dice in Quick Sim with games against Newcastle and Manchester United, but it's going to be important to get a victory over Leicester to again increase our distance between ourselves and those in the drop zone to make sure that we are in the Premier League at the very least next season, but to try and kick on and try and reach that top half as we approach the final stretch here. So we'll look forward to that in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.